Welcome, everybody, to the Mullins Over Music Podcast, episode 26, part one of the double feature for this week. It's pretty fun. This week we have Cole, a returning guest, James, and Paul from the band Nospun. Their singer Phil could not be in because he was sick that day. But enjoy as we talk about the Ozai EP and food and bunch of crazy stuff. So enjoy.
All right.
Welcome everybody to the Mullins Over Music Podcast. You know who I am, maybe. If not, I'm Austin Mullins, and I'm here with the band No Spoon. You might remember the man in the top left corner on my screen from an episode we did a good while back. But he's brought with him some friendly faces. But I'll let them introduce themselves to you, especially if you're on the audio. Then you gotta connect voices to names, and it's the whole thing. Go watch the video. That's all I got to say about that.
Uh,
Go ahead.
Go.
sure, I'll go first since I was the one on before. I'm Cole Millward, the bassist for No Spoon.
I'm Paul Wood, drums.
And I am Matthew McConaughey, the lead guitarist of No Spoon.
Yes. Little known unknown fact: Matthew McConaughey is in a prog band.
All right, all right, all right.
All right. What a great dude. I want to get him on the podcast. I know he's not like a big music guy, but I think it'd be interesting just to get him to say, all right, all right, all right. And that'll be
Well,
it.
I'm right here. I don't know why you're talking about me in the third
Oh, yeah.
person.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Mr. McConaughey.
Thank you.
uh,
Jeez.
So, you know how we start this podcast off. If you don't, you're about to find out. We got to go over the fun facts. You you trained for this all your life. Elementary school, middle school, high school. You trained for the fun fact. You got called on, perhaps even picked on about your fun fact. Maybe they called you booger nose after you told them your fun fact about your booger collection. I don't know. But I need a fun fact from everybody.
Uh, cool. Cole, you go first.
um, let's see. Fun fact. Um,
You have all the Ormsby bases ever produced.
yeah, but I feel like I should probably be picking something that's less related to what we're ultimately going to be talking about. Um, I guess since I'm looking around my room right now, we'll stick with the yeah, up above my desk I have a collection of original uh Lego Bionicles from about 2001 to 2005
That's
or
sick.
something like that because I was a huge Bionicle fan as a kid and had collected them over the years and had all the pieces in a tub. And then sometime over the past year, I decided I wanted to go and put back together all the originals. So I did. So maybe that shelf is worth some money. I don't know. Maybe 500 or something like that.
At least
One
worth a
day.
dollar.
I'll give
Yeah.
you tree fitted.
350.
Tree fitted.
Use the lock
So
monster.
that's my vaguely fun fact.
I think that's a fun fact, especially considering the fan game for Bionicles just got canceled
Oh,
for the cease and desist order that they got sent.
yeah. Okay, so you've been keeping up with that then. Very
Yeah,
nice.
I wanted to play it, but I'll never be able to play it.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, looks like you're up next.
So since we were talking about video games and I brought up Counter-Strike 2, your boy last season hit top 1,000 in North America. So put a little bit of respect on my name,
Yeah.
Come catch me on Mirage, Dust 2.
That's actually pretty sick and pretty difficult.
Right? Yeah, it took a lot, especially with the way the game is right now. Their anti-cheat is like non-existent. So once you get to that point, it's like, oh, am I about to get cheated on the entire game? Let's find out.
Dude, it's like that with Titanfall 2 right now. It's hit or miss.
Yeah.
Because I recently got back into it because I'm like, Titanfall 3 is never coming. I gotta go back to Titanfall 2 and
I like
it,
Titanfall too.
story was good, gameplay was good. Never gonna have a Titanfall 3. They went
That
with
is a
Apex
shame.
Legends. Okay, Mr. McConaughey, let's hear your fun fact.
Well, I guess fun fact because you kind of you spin it as like a thing that I would have been made fun of for when I was a kid. So that's the angle I'm going with.
Okay.
I am a huge wrestling fan. So, growing up, the amount of kids coming up to me saying, it's fake, right? And then I'm like, you're stupid. um, I was really, really into it. Not so much these days because I have, too much going on, but I am a diehard wrestling fan.
I try to keep up with modern wrestling, um, but it's so hard and they make so many dumb decisions.
What have you guys ever been to like a live event? Like especially growing up?
I went to two live events when I was a kid. One was WWE SmackDown. It was a
Thursday night.
yeah, it was a house show, which meant it wasn't televised, and it was in Huntington, West Virginia, and I got to see John Cena wrestle before he got the bald spot, so that was kind of neat.
He doesn't have it
And
anymore.
oh, totally. he when I was a little kid, I went to a really, really kind of low rent event at a bingo hall.
Those are the
That
best
was
ones. What do you mean?
well, it was like a Legends of Wrestling, so it had like the Rock and Roll Express and the Nasty Boys and Coco Beware and stuff like that. And I got to meet the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. And he clearly just wanted to go to his table and eat his lunch, but my father would not have that. So, yeah, I've been to a couple. I still need to go to like a legit WWE event.
Well, SmackDown was pretty legit. I think I went to
Yeah.
SmackDown when I was like maybe like 10 because I remember I went with my dad and my brother all the time. And where we sat down, at one point they were like really pissed off about the seats and they were like, "Oh, there's openings over here. Let's like move down closer to the stage." And once we got there, I realized I left a little sign that I spent an hour making before we got there, like at the original seats, and I couldn't get it back, and I was like devastated the rest of the night. I was like, "My sign, bruh." It said like, "Yeah, The Rock's awesome" or something like that. It was left in the stands forever.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
Never get to see it ever.
Right. Little P-Dub was definitely really sad. I was like, "Dad, we gotta go get my sign." He was like, "Shut the hell up, dude. It's a Thursday night. We gotta go soon."
That's cool.
I know nothing about wrestling, so
I've tried to keep up, but I just can't. I'm like, I can see the appeal. I've watched a couple, matches. I've fallen asleep to more matches than I can count. Netflix is a great help with that. Pop went on, I go, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
I for all of about 5 minutes when John Cena was roasting somebody, and that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to know anything, Cole, just know that it is definitely not fake. It's the realest
Right.
thing that ever happened. So
The realest and the illest, as they say.
Yeah.
Still.
see way.
Just look up R-Truth compilation, and that'll be it. That's all you need. Best wrestler ever, definitely not a comedian.
Oh no. I knew when he was K Quick. What happened? What?
I said, actually, he's a pretty decent rapper too. Not gonna lie.
Oh,
And
snap.
he's looked exactly the same since the early 2000s, and I'm jealous.
Well, you know what they say. They do say black don't crack, and for him, that's actually true.
He won the genetic lottery, as it were.
Oh yeah.
I keep getting fatter and fatter, and I'm not happy about it.
But the beard gets
Jesus.
longer. You know, that's always a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's more like a wizard thing, you know?
Yeah.
yeah. The longer the beard, the long. The
Where was that going?
You don't want to know.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next question before we find out. So, of course, our next question, always on the podcast, is the funny question. Because if we can't laugh, where's the fun? Now, you're going to have to dig deep for this one. What is a movie that you're embarrassed to admit that you love? And I already know mine. It's 13 going on 30. I love that.
I mean, I can't judge you too bad for that one.
Oof. I know. See, I told you got to dig deep.
So
Now,
I
can
think
it just be a funny movie, or does it have to be funny because we enjoy the movie?
That
It can be. Are you embarrassed to like it, even though it's a funny movie?
No, but it takes a lot for me to be embarrassed by anything.
You know,
that's what I was going to say.
whatever
Is I
you
think
say.
there's an element of confidence to this question because it's like I think with a lot of the movies, even the ones that I could look at and be like, oh, maybe the public thinks this is bad.
Yeah.
I justify my reason for liking so hard that it has to be like, no, this is legitimately a good movie and everyone else is just wrong.
That's fair.
But
if I'm looking at it like that, I think Batman versus Superman. I like that film.
I just
Nobody else
watched
likes
that one.
So yeah, I'll take one of those. That'll work.
All right, so what about Malibu's Most Wanted? Am I being judged or am I not being judged? Because I can recite so many of those lines from that movie. I used to watch it every night in high school because it was on HBO on demand, and I would like fall asleep to that movie for like 4 months straight.
That was Jamie Kennedy's finest work.
Shrink, blinkety blink. Try to make me think. Make me want to go to my sink and vomit. Clean it up with Comet. Earth is my planet. See, I'm the shiznit. I'll buy your cars.
Okay.
Cole clearly has not seen this masterpiece. It is a 10 out of 10 drama from the 2000s.
You guys just haven't seen Zombievers yet.
Oh, I have.
Oh, then you love it. You know how great of a film it is.
Oh, I out of all of us, I probably have the most unique taste in film. In my shelf right now, I have such movies like Frankenhooker, Chud 2, Chud the Bud.
Oh, no.
I have Velocipaster. I have Microwave Massacre. It's, you know.
What
I'm
about
not ashamed of any of
Lamageddon?
those. I don't have that one, but soon.
Or Slaughterhouse?
Bongs? Hey, that's a good.
Oh yeah, I've seen all of those. Evil Bong, Ginger Dead Man, Slaughterhouse Massacre. So I'm not ashamed of liking any of those at all, really. Yeah, I'm kind of confident in the stuff that I like.
Oh yeah. Well, Cole, let's hear yours.
I generally feel the same way that I'm willing to defend just about every movie that I'm into. But
Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Oh,
there you go.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one.
Film though.
I love it. It's a 10 out of 10 for me.
That one is so confusing because it's like I feel like this is a B movie, but is it? I'm just not sure. Like
B for Blart.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Honestly, that's a pretty good answer. I guess the only other ones that I would potentially throw would be like, uh, I don't know that most people will consider this a bad movie. I just think it didn't do amazing. Tron Legacy,
That's a good film.
I
I
I
like that.
really really liked. I just think it didn't do incredible at the box office.
That's
So maybe
because most
that's
people are stupid. That's why.
yeah. I don't know if that's one to be embarrassed about. Uh, maybe the closest one to that would be like Sky High, that Disney movie from 2005.
I remember.
That's a banger too.
Oh, nope, I have my answer. I absolutely have my answer. Spy Kids.
You know what?
Okay.
Yeah.
All the first three of them. And I know most people will be like, "Oh yeah, the first one is great. The second one's kind of weird. The third one totally falls off." All three of them.
No, third one
The
is my
the
favorite.
the later ones where like the main cast is different and everything, I don't care about. But like the originals, such weird films, but I think it's good cinema. So yeah, I love Spy Kids.
And we got Steve Buscemi. I mean,
Yeah.
can't go wrong.
Oh,
Can't beat that.
it's truly an incredible cast. Because even in the first one, you had Alan Cummings
Mhm.
and who was the other bad guy? Uh Tony Shalhoub is in there.
Wow.
The guy whose name I can never remember, unfortunately, but he was the T-1000.
Oh, Bobby
Yeah.
Boucher.
Yeah,
Very
he's in the
good.
first one. Um, he plays like, is he the president or something like that? He's some important
Yeah.
like corrupt politician or something like that. Um, so Terry Hatcher is in it.
Yeah.
Like Cheech Marin, obviously
Antonio Banderas.
and I was just about to say Zorro. Uh, like yeah, like it really makes you wonder how the hell they secured that cast. Like it's just
Blackmail.
bizarre. Actually, like everything that I've heard is that like all of the adult cast members who are part of it kind of just wanted to do it for fun. Like I think they were just into it. So
And it
anyway,
drops
yeah.
the hardest line in film history.
The
With
second one does, yes.
yeah.
But
And
I
then
agree.
dinosaurs, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
CGI was something. Uh
Oh yeah. It was
It,
weird, but
it did have CGI. Yeah, that is a fact.
a good bit of it. And who's that lady that plays Mandy on Georgie and Mandy? The blonde hair?
No idea.
She's on
I'm
Hannah
drawing a
Montana
blank.
too. I can't remember her name, but she was in those films too.
Unreal. Just crazy who all they got. And then of course let's see, Daryl Sabera, who played the kid, or one of the two kids, I guess,
Yeah.
who played Junie. He ended up growing up and marrying Megan Trainor,
Yep.
which is fascinating.
Seen the way she looks now, by the way.
A lot less bass.
Yeah.
Way more trouble.
Haha, way more treble. Yeah.
She even changed a line. She said, "I know it's pretty clear. I got some new boobs."
Okay, that's funny.
What?
That's pretty funny.
She's size 2 now, so she can't be saying that.
Oh boy.
You know, my doctor before he quit, he said, you know what, you might want to try Ozempic. It's it's fresh on the market. What do you say? No.
Did he really?
Jesus.
Yeah, he wasn't a
Shit,
very good
dog.
doctor.
I think there's a reason he's not a practicing doctor anymore.
Oh, he still is. He's just not
Oh.
mine.
So he quit you. Okay, gotcha.
He quit that particular
Practice.
building, that practice. Yeah.
Gotcha. Damn.
He said, He said he won't take my advice. I give up. He said I'm leaving.
It's not.
It's all your
Ugh.
fault, James.
Or like he listed like, yeah, there's some nasty things about it, but hey, if you want to lose weight pretty quickly, and I'm like, ah,
Nasty things
You may
about it.
die in 2 weeks, but you
I'll
you've
just
lost
go
10 pounds.
jogging.
The problem is, to my understanding, it also causes you to lose muscle mass, like
Mhm.
a lot of muscle mass. So
It's an extreme amount too.
yeah, kind
It'll
of
be like that
frightening.
episode of South Park where they put Cartman up on the cross and they come back like 3 months later. And he's like a twig. You guys, give me that man.
It's coming back to Comedy Central now.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
thank God.
Yeah. But with some of this show is going to be on HBO for viewing. Some of it's on Paramount Plus, and some of it's gonna be on Hulu.
That's whack. Why is it on so many different platforms?
The deal they struck with HBO is through like the end of 2030. So
Oh,
they
wow.
have to keep all the stuff on there that they already put out. Then the Paramount owns, Paramount Viacom owns Comedy Central. So they're making new things for that. But they also struck a deal with, I think it was Hulu. So they have to put stuff on Hulu as well.
Because it used to be on Hulu, right?
Yeah, you used to be able to watch all the seasons
Yeah.
for certain episodes like Super Friends.
Because I had the box set up to like season 10 or 12. And like, I sold them because I was like, oh, it's on Hulu. Like, I already have Hulu. I'll just watch them on this. And they took them away. And I just got
Oof.
HBO Max to watch like The Last of Us and stuff. And I was like, oh, dope. South Park's here.
Sorry, you're gonna have to get Paramount Plus now.
I'm just going to wait 20 years from now where I can pay $2,000 for the complete box set and just call it a day.
The
Yeah.
75 season box set with the 450 movies or whatever.
You need a hand cart to get into your house.
I'm okay with that. I think I'd be okay with that.
I'll take it.
Okay, so let's move into some music questions because so far music's over here and we've been all the way over here.
We actually hate music, just so you
Oh
know.
yeah,
We're
music's
not.
dumb.
Yeah.
Man, who likes music?
Only in it for the money.
That's right.
That's why we do progressive rock and metal.
That
It makes the most money out of every genre.
they have to listen to it for longer, so the most they make more money.
Right?
Well, of course, we got to talk about the EP, the Ozai EP, the one, the only, the comeback, if you will, of Ozai. Now, I do remember most of the story. In fact, I went back and watched the episode I did with Cole just so I could refresh myself. And of course, I really listened to all the music because I'm a music nerd. Um, so let's talk about it.
Good
Let's talk
man.
about how we got to re-recording it. What are the changes? Let we got to hear it all. So start from the beginning of when this idea came to fruition, or started to come to fruition, not came to fruition.
That's a
Basically, when
cold
Cole,
question.
once Cole realized I can't listen to this old mix anymore, it drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's probably most of it. He's like, at least once every month, be like, I still love the old music, but
Yeah, I mean, what you're describing to me is what I call Tuesday. So,
yeah.
That's fair.
um, let's see. So this actually kind of, without going all the way back to talk about the original Ozai EP. I mean, that one's easy enough. We
Yeah.
were, together as a band under the name Ozai all the way back in 2012, 2013, 2014. And we're writing this new music and everything. And that was the first stuff that we ever recorded just by ourselves. So that was my first foray into recording and mixing. I was doing it on my college laptop, which was not built for what we made it do.
It was an
Um,
HP, right?
that one was a Lenovo. It was like
Oh, that's
Oh,
just
worse.
some Lenovo, notebook or whatever that was definitely mostly meant for taking notes. So that was a fascinating experience, but we learned a lot just from doing that. The product was obviously very amateurish because it was our first go. And then over the next 7 years, per the story of the creation of Opus, we were working on Opus and learning to get a whole lot better at that sort of prospect. Part of that 7 years involved some delays, slowdowns, for numerous reasons. We had some personnel issues. We also, I know at some point during that, James dealt with tendonitis
Yeah.
and could like only play for like 30 minutes a day or something, which was a very crazy time for us. Obviously,
What's wrong with you, James? No, I'm just kidding. Keep scrub.
yeah. Uh, Obviously, that was kind of a rough time. Um, but eventually, basically, because things were dragging on so long, we didn't really want to start writing new stuff yet because we just foresaw this outcome where it's like, okay, we're just writing more and more new stuff. So by the time we actually finish with Opus, now everyone has like another album to learn. And so like all of the members who weren't as active in the writing process would just be perpetually on a learning cycle and would never actually be in the process of helping us work on new stuff. And so through a Herculean act of self-restraint, we were just like, okay, I guess we're just not going to write anything new right now, but we're still bored. Like we can't really move forward with Opus yet because there's a number of things we're waiting on, and we're not letting ourselves write new stuff. So okay, well, now's as good a time as any to go back on this old music that was amateurish and turn it into something that is a lot more in line with our current capabilities. So we started working on this re-record of the Ozai EP while we were working on Opus. So it was not a, yay, we've finished Opus and everyone's loving this big concept album. Now let's go back and rework all this old material. It was something we were already working on because we were bored with the delays working on Opus. So then obviously once things sort of picked back up, we did finish Opus and had to put the like wherever we were at in re-recording the Ozai EP, we had to sort of put that on hold so we could finish Opus, release it, then deal with the sheer fallout of releasing a reasonably successful debut album.
Still
So,
one of my favorite albums of that year.
Hell yeah. Glad you're still enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's I mean it took us a lot of places and
Oh yeah.
we love it for that. But we figured as we started to work on new stuff for the next actual like new album, we were like, well, here, I mean, we already have like all the guitars and drums and bass recorded for the Ozai EP. So all we really need to do is hunker down and get vocal tracks and then mix it. So we took maybe a month or two and got those vocals recorded and started mixing while we continued to write stuff for the next album. So yeah, that was essentially the story of why we decided to do it. Because I know some people were kind of like, this being our second like official release as Nospun.
Yeah.
I know some people kind of are of the opinion like, well, for your second one, why would you dive back into old material? It's
because we want to. How about that?
Because we want to, and we were already working on it. So when it comes to the next album, like as with Opus, we're going to approach it with the same mentality of perfectionism. Like we're not in a position right now where we're feeling rushed to get it done. I mean, yeah, sure, people are asking, like, oh my God, when are you going to finish the next one? It's like, we'll finish it when we finish it. Like, it's more important for us to put out something that we can be proud of than for it to be super fast. And therefore, a huge benefit of putting out the Ozai EP Redux this year is to give people a little extra to chew on while we continue to work on that next record.
People do like chewing on things.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Okay. So I guess my next question would be, how was it different? Like, what were the big changes or small changes from the original EP to this current EP Redux? As far as, not really as far as production, because the production is obviously a lot better. But more of are there specific parts that were changed? Did you feel like you were playing things faster or slower, more groove? What were some of the musical differences you think between the original and the Redux?
I think the biggest thing we really went over, like as a band, was the harsh vocals. And like if we wanted to keep all of the harsh vocals from the original recording, or if we wanted to go back through and kind of decide like where are they needed, where are they not needed, and then go from there.
And we basically decided that for the original 4 songs that were on the original EP, all the harsh vocals still felt right. Like we played around with maybe, taking out the harshes and putting cleans there instead, but nothing ever felt right. Probably the biggest change happened to Out with the Bang, where we did actually take out the harsh vocals that were in that song before. There's a couple of little musical changes that are like they're very very subtle. They're kind of born out of like things that we would do live just on a whim. So like parts naturally sort of evolved over time as we played it live. So like the way Paul grooved on the drums during some of the sections in Jormungand evolved live than how it originally was on the in the original EP. Therefore, we emulated that on this newer version. I changed a couple little guitar parts here and there. I think all the vocal melodies stayed the same, right, Cole?
Pretty much, aside from
Yeah.
like the rewritten vocal part in Out with a Bang.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about it is, sure there were a number of these like little subtle changes from the old version to the new version, but what's fascinating is just how much of it like stayed the same.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of is the testament to the fact that we were still proud of what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Like musically, what we created back then was something that we remained proud of all these years. Like that the biggest part of the original that is kind of like was the production. So the production was kind of the big motivator for change.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's these little subtle changes here and there that were evolutions. I think the big challenge for us was like because there was 10 years difference between like the recording of the original and this newer one, and the I think the thing in our minds a little bit was like how much better, obviously, like how much better can we like produce this and make it sound better? How much better can we perform it? Because there's a lot of times where bands will go back and redo something and it's like, okay, I can see that this new one has the polish, but it lacks the soul or the youthful energy of the original. And so it's like can we still capture that? Can Phil, now 10 years older than he was when he first recorded it, um, can Phil like still hit like the same high notes? Can he imbue it with the same energy as before? Um, can we capture that same energy, but all while performing the parts better?
Mm-hmm.
So it's fascinating that for me the differences were less of a musical thing and more of just like an overall like polish that extended beyond just the production.
I dig it. That's good answers. Good answers. Man, I knew you guys were gonna have fantastic answers for every question I have today.
Just wait, it's not over yet.
No, it's not even close to being over. We got quite a few questions to go through. Now, of course, I gotta ask, since we're talking about the Ozai EP, what's everyone's favorite song off the EP, your least favorite song off the EP, and the hardest song off the EP? If they're one and the same for one or the other, just go ahead and wrap it up into one nice little bow. Because I know what my favorite is.
What's your favorite?
The effervescent power.
Hey, nice. Well,
I
that's my
think
least
Mecca was
favorite.
always my favorite.
I'll say I think my favorite is probably, damn, that's hard.
That's a good one.
Which of your children do you love the most? Um,
I already have an answer for that. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll say I like for me, I think it's a bit of a toss up between Life, the Universe, and Everything and Mecha.
Okay.
And honestly, maybe even Jormungand, but I think here in this case, I'm gonna let Life, the Universe, and Everything take it.
There we go.
And I think that it's not necessarily the hardest of all the songs to play. But it was, I believe, one of the first ones that we wrote for the EP. It was one where like I know for that one I brought a lot of ideas to the table, so obviously I'm going to be a little biased about it.
Yeah, of course.
Um, especially with this Redux, I loved the opportunity for us to take what was kind of a bare bones sonically song before and flesh it out a lot with more sound design this time. So the intro, we gave it a real like makeover with new sounds. I know back when we first did that, we were trying to do a little bit of a dubstep thing at the beginning, and now we know more about it. So we were actually able to really lean into that in the intro. And just the big like Meshuggah-esque riffs that exist in that song are just tremendously fun to play. Like the intro, and then there's a big one sort of in the solo section that just it hits extremely hard. And I like the way that James's solo came off in that. And then because the whole song is very tense all the way throughout, the towards the end where we hit this big open like pretty section, it feels very earned. It feels like the kind of thing where it's like just a real breath of fresh air after this ripping, 5 minutes before it. So I want to say that one's probably my favorite because of that. Uh, least favorite is a hard one to go with, but it's probably going to be Effervescent Power simply because that one's like the simplest of all the songs on the record. It's the most straightforward, certainly, and like I think anytime that first note just like kicks straight in, it's very high energy and that's a lot of fun. And it's far from hatred for the song. I do love the song. I think it's obviously just that the other songs on the album offer a little more to keep me engaged, I guess.
Yeah.
Hardest, that's either going to be Out with a Bang or Mecca for me. And it's not that Mecca is hard throughout, it's that the instrumental section in the middle has some almost like black metal-y shreddy stuff that I have to play with a pick that is not technique that I'm super used to. So that's a hard one to make sure that I get it right every time. Out with a Bang, I think, is hard all throughout because it's just very riffy. So I guess Out with a Bang probably takes that cake.
Okay.
I would say Out with a Bang is my favorite and also the hardest for me to play. That one I'm kind of biased towards because that's my baby. Like I had the most input with that song, and I don't know. It's like there's something about that song that makes me feel um I guess warm inside anytime I hear it, and I'm just yes, Paul. It makes me feel horny. Um,
Jesus.
it's it has a really nice flow and it progresses really well throughout without getting too lost in the woods. Um, and kind of like with what Cole said, it's the hardest one because there's probably more notes per second in that one than there are in the other songs.
Yeah.
Just like way notier, way more complex in terms of like the chord voicings. And yeah, I love that song. My least favorite is probably Effervescent Power for the same reasons Cole listed. It's just
It's a very
simpler.
Song.
It's very straightforward. But it's still a fun song.
Oh yeah.
It's funny. I'm gonna be like the one who stands out. Like Mecha is definitely my favorite. It's just super fun to play. And for the what's kind of ironic to the things that are like hard for you guys, like when it comes to Out with a Bang. Some of the new stuff that we put with Out with a Bang, like during like the solo section, is really cool and interesting. So that's helped it for me. That's still probably my least favorite.
You
Sorry,
son
James.
of a bitch.
Don't hate me, my friend. I apologize.
You're fired.
But speaking of like challenging stuff, Jormungand, like when we first started writing Jormungand, some of the groove sections and the solo section were like extremely difficult for me back in the day, like to the point that I had to like change up how I was playing it. So that's probably still going to be some of the harder ones. But like when it comes to Out with the Bang, it's really not too bad. And Mecha and Effervescent are pretty straightforward for the most part. They're just fun to play. But it's definitely for like my favorite is a toss up between Life and Mecha. But I'm gonna have to give it to Mecha.
Okay. Good answers. I enjoy the multifaceted answers for these questions. Now we got to move on to my favorite question because I'm moving it up a bit because I just love gear so much. So it's Gear Talk, Great Talk time.
Sweet.
Okay.
I know Cole already kind of knows about it. You go into as much or as little detail about your gear as possible. You just have fun with it. Usually we get really deep into it. I think, and this is a testament to Cole's literary vocabulary. He definitely makes owning an Ormsby very attractive. So,
well, I think James would agree with that.
So, I hate those guitars, man.
Fired.
So whoever wants to go first for the gear talk, let's hear it.
I'll go first because I probably have the most to mention, but the least to say about all of it. So let's start with the amps that I use. I mostly use the Fractal FM9.
Good choice.
Um, Before that, I used the Fractal AX8, and then before that, I just used the Fractal, XFX2 Mark II, stuff like that. And I've been using Fractal products since I believe 2014, so over 10 years now. And I mean, once I got like my first unit, I knew that I was never, ever, ever going back to real amps on stage. Because my back hurts enough as it is. I don't need to be carrying, 100-pound cabs and all those cables and the blah 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 blah.
Oh,
And
man.
I know. Well, you only play with two drum pieces.
Oh,
Stop
yeah, you're
crying.
right. Kick and snare, you're right.
So
Occasional.
I love the unit because it's so versatile. Um, and it responds really well to my playing. And if you were to A B like a real Marshall to a Marshall that we program in the unit, you're not going to be able to tell the difference.
No.
Not at all. So that's what I use mostly. I also use an amp that I just forgot the name of. Whoops.
That's my favorite amp too.
It's a little amp. It's a tube amp. It's a something blah 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 Blues King. I guess I'm not going to get that sponsorship now. That one stays at the studio in case I want to use that for recording. As far as amps go, that's it. The guitars is where this will take the longest. I have like at least 10,000 guitars. I mostly use Ormsby guitars. For those of you who don't know, like Cole, I am an Ormsby artist. So I use the Ormsby hype guitars and the Goliaths. I'm working on getting a custom one as well. More details on that soon.
Ooh.
But those are my go-to guitars. They just play like butter. They're very versatile. They're extremely light. Oh my God. Oh, so
Yeah.
comfortable to play. And it works for anything. In my guitar collection, I have the following. I have Kiesel Zeus. I have a Kiesel Delos. I have an Epiphone Sheraton 2. I have a Fender American Strat. I have a Furch acoustic guitar, a Taylor acoustic guitar, a Taylor 12-string, a vintage Les Paul. I have a Steinberger headless guitar, and several others. I have a Jackson. I have a Yamaha Semi Hagar signature. I have all these different guitars because, unlike Cole, I like playing instruments that feel and sound different from one another from time to time.
Cute.
But as far as like the gear talk, I don't really have that much to say because generally speaking, I don't care. I just when I buy something, I buy based on how it looks, how it feels, how it plays, and how it sounds. Very rarely have I ever actually had Cole replace the pickups in a guitar or alter it in any way. That's probably one facet of my approach that's old school is, I'll make any guitar sound good just by how I play it. Seriously. So I get paid the big bucks.
That's right.
And yeah, I also play through an Xbox Series S and a PS5 from time to time, depending on how much time I have throughout the evening.
Oh yeah.
Standard models, I don't upgrade them. And yeah,
Certainly
I'll
not
show
the
it now.
PS5 Pro.
Well, they say it sounds way better, but it really doesn't. You
Oh
can't
no.
tell. No.
The difference in sound quality, the pickups aren't that different,
No. No,
just
it's all the same.
in fact, I think it's missing a pickup switch. You got to buy that separate.
I know, and I just don't want to spend the money. I'll just use
Oh,
what I got.
yeah.
Follow that, Paul.
No. No, so I've got two main drum sets. I've got a set of Tama Star Classic Walnut Birch. It's a 7-piece. Well, I guess technically 6-piece, I guess. So 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 22 by 16 kick. And then I have the Starphonic copper snare that I match with that kit. I have another set of Star Classics. It's the Mirage kit. So it's that 50th anniversary acrylic kit.
Ooh.
It's the first time I've ever owned an acrylic kit. And I had to buy an 8-inch tom because they only made this kit with a 10, 12, 14, 16, and then the kick. I bought the matching snare, but there wasn't an 8-inch. And you can't have Tama make you an 8-inch unless you're Mike Portnoy. Then they probably would have made him one.
Oh, yeah.
But they made a Silver Star Mirage kit like 10 years ago, and they made an 8-inch tom for that series. And so I found somebody online who was selling one. The only thing about it is the Mirage kit has black nickel hardware, and the Silver Star Mirage has chrome hardware. So when I look at it, it drives me crazy. I can go and get black nickel hardware, but it's going to cost me more than I paid for the tom to get the lugs, tension rods, and hoops. And so right now it's just going to be like a chrome eyesore that every time I set up my kit, I'm like, this would look really good if that 8-inch tom had black nickel hardware.
We'll get some black spray paint. Problem solved.
Yeah, and then it'll look worse with chrome if I try to do that. I'll find a way. All of a sudden, I'm like, well, my 8-inch acrylic tom now is just black. It's not really acrylic anymore. You can't see through it.
It's black.
One of the things, though, like I'm kind of in the camp that like no matter like what company, like I could go and get a Pearl drum set, a DW drum set, like they're all going to sound great. I've always just liked Tama drums. A lot of the artists that I like or the drummers that I like are Tama artists. But one thing that I do love about their hardware that the Star Classic Walnut Birch kit has, unfortunately the Mirage kit doesn't have it, is it has locking like memory locks for the toms and the floor tom legs. And so what's awesome is like I can mark my floor toms, the legs themselves. I slap open this little like notch, and then the leg comes out. And then when I get to a show, I have them all labeled so I know where they go. And then everything's at the right size or the right height and angles again. So they have really nice hardware. I just switched like maybe a year ago from the DW9000 pedals to the Speed Cobra pedals. I've got the Speed Cobra 910s. I threw the trick drive shaft on those. It'll help eliminate some of the lag on the slave pedal. Yeah. And then I upgraded the beaters to the low boy beaters. Basically everything you see on Instagram where all the drummers are like, oh, have you tried all this product? It's fucking awesome. I'm like, okay, let me go spend money on that. Got the 910 hi-hat stand as well. For cymbals, my dad was a huge like Zildjian's the best cymbal company ever made. Nobody else can tell me otherwise kind of guy. And so when I was upgrading my cymbals, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was trying to decide, like, do I want to go Zildjian? Do I want to go Meinl? Do I want to go Sabian? And like for my dad, I was like, you know what? I'll just go get Zildjians. Like I know they make great cymbals. So I've got a set of the K-Sweet line. So I've got the 14-inch K-Sweet hats, the 21-inch K-Sweet ride, a 16 and 18 K-Sweet crash. I don't use the 16-inch crash anymore. And I've actually taken that away, and I'm using a 18-inch A custom. I have an 18-inch K dark crash, and then I also have an 18-inch K dry crash I really like as like the primary like riding on the crash, like as opposed to like hats or ride. It gets in and it gets out of the mix really fast, so it's not like too washy. There's not a whole bunch of sustain, so I love having that one, which is kind of weird for metal. What's up?
What do you tune your cymbals to?
A flat.
Okay, cool.
To the third power divided by pi.
That's what I thought. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You keep
going. No, you're good.
It's important. It's important.
Right? And then I've got, let's see, I play an 18-inch Oriental Trash China. I also have an 18-inch dry China. Sometimes I'll do 2 Chinas on either side.
Double China-ing it.
Yeah, but to be fair, with a lot of the shows we play and us not having a drum tech, since I'm the one who has to set everything up for the most part. Well, yeah, I don't even want to bring an amp anymore. I've got a little foot pedal. Look at me. But and then what else? I've got 3 splashes now. No, 4 actually. Wait, hold up. So I've got a little 6-inch A custom splash, a 10-inch dry splash, an 8-inch K splash, and then I have a little 12-inch China with a 10-inch transformer splash on top of it. So it's like a little splash stack. I made a stack for like my big stack. It's a 16-inch. It's either a 16 or 14. I can't remember. Oriental China, and then above it, it's a 16 because that's right because of the crash fits inside of it. No, actually, no. It's a 14 and 14. Now I gotta check. I'm curious. But there's a 14-inch A custom EFX crash on top of the Chinos. That's my like primary stack. I think that's it for cymbals. And then Evans drum heads, typically G2s on the top, G1s on the bottom. Especially with the acrylics, I always stick with the clear heads. It just looks kind of weird if you put a coated head on an acrylic drum. Right. Like, I can't even see through it no more, man. But I do like the G2s, like the coated G2s on the walnut birch kit. It makes it a bit more warm. Other than that, ProMark sticks. It's the Shirakashi Oak 5B. They're expensive, but they last a little bit longer. And just kind of a hodgepodge of hardware. So I use like some Thomas stands, some Gibraltar stands.
Okay.
And I think that's it as far as like main stuff that I play. I do have my dad's old set of Slingerland drums. It's like a set of 67 Slingerlands. And one day when I'm not a broke musician, I'm going to go and have all the hardware redone and get it rewrapped and then get some like old school hardware to set it up and like, you know, like vintage sounding cymbals and stuff and just have that for like a cool classic rock kit. Cause it's got like I think it's a 24 by 14 kick or something like that. Like it's weird sizes.
Pretty big.
That's what she said. Very nice.
Very nice.
But actually, when I like met these guys like years ago, I was playing a John Bonham replica set. It was a Ludwig set, and it had a 22 by 16-inch kick. Or no, 26 by 16-inch kick. It was like a cannon. It was huge. Like I couldn't even set my toms up over it because they didn't fit. Or else my tom would be like way up here. I'm like, you know.
Hey, you know, sometimes you gotta make it work. You know, you see the new Mike Portnoy kit for the Dream Theater shows. He's got toms up there.
Yeah,
sitting on a
but still, like he can set them up though to where it's like ergonomically, like it feels good. Like this damn bass drum was so big. If you wanted 2 toms over your bass drum, it wasn't gonna feel good. Like it was impossible. You'd have to keep them like flat and like come over the top of the shell. It'd just be weird.
Hey, you know what? That's okay with me.
Right.
Speaking of cymbals, I bought this a couple months back. I found on the Facebook Marketplace Joey Jordison signature Meinl cymbals with with this random drum kit and a Ludwig master snare. $25.
No shit.
Nice.
What types of cymbals did he play?
But I
Was
don't.
it Pisces?
They're in my attic at the moment.
I think he played Gibson.
Yeah, you're right.
Cymbals.
It was Yamaha cymbals.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was wrong.
Yamaha
Yeah.
cymbals. And Ormsby pedals. He played Ormsby pedals.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cole is wanting to rip my beard off through the camera.
Well,
Go ahead, Cole.
Yeah,
That's your favorite part. Talk about your shit.
Oh, I'm sure last time I went into it, but I'll.
We're also
I'll
running out of time, so just be really, really quick about it.
I will quickly go over it. I, like James, play Ormsby guitars, specifically their basses. I do
play
have a
better.
couple of their guitars. It's their bass GTR model. Only 6 strings, because that's just what I want to play. So yeah, I got 5 of them in 2 different finishes. They are fairly heavily modified. I've like added a center pickup and some extra stuff to them. I've moved the electronics around. But they are, yeah, they're awesome. I kind of don't want to play anything else. I wish they made more of them, therefore, because I love them so much. I, like James, also use the Fractal Audio FM9 as my rig. And they continue to add features like the firmware updates to add new effects and sound stuff, and they do bug fixes. Even if they decided tomorrow to never release any more updates for it, it would still be the perfect rig. It's like, for me, the whole way that I like mix bass tone, like I don't just throw on a bass amp sim and call it a day. Like I have, it's a whole chain of plugins, each doing something very specific to achieve that sound. And the FM9 as a piece of gear is like, it's able to do what I do in a DAW, just in a pedal form. And so it sounds incredible. Like I haven't had to seriously mess with my tone for like months, maybe a year or something like that. And to me, that's a good sign. That's like, it's doing everything I need it to. So yeah, I mean, that's the gist of my gear, essentially.
And I'll be honest, every time I see a video pop up on my feed of your Ormsby's, I'm like, that's a nice bass right there.
They're fun. I think it's always a good sign when you can pick up your instrument and just like hit one note and just be like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for,
That's the stuff.
That's the ticket.
So, I guess as far as other live stuff, we do run in-ears, in-ear monitors. We also have to run backing tracks for the many other sounds on our record that can't be replicated with guitar, bass, drums, and vocals live. So any orchestral stuff, any other synths, because we don't have a keyboardist.
You can't.
All that has to be. Yeah, no, can't quite do that. That all is handled by a laptop and a whole like in-ear monitoring rig that we use live. It also, because James and I are using the FM9s, those same backing track sessions also handle automated patch changes.
Oh, that's sick.
Which is very awesome because a lot of the music that we're playing requires a lot of our brains and our hands, and it's nice to free up that little bit of extra brain power so that we don't have to think about what our feet are doing as well. Though, like, we are using the floorboard units is what the FM9 is, not the rack mount like Axe-Fx units. So we are still able to like foot switch our way through the songs if we have to. Which it has occurred where I've had to do that when we played Prog Power. Yeah, when we played Prog Power last year in Atlanta, for whatever reason, for the first, I was gonna say, for about 75% of the show, my MIDI patch changes weren't working. And so I had to step my way through them. Not my preference. It's a lot more fun to play when I don't have to think about changing the sounds myself. But I guess I'm glad that if one of our rigs was going to choose to act up, it was mine and not James's. Because at least with bass, like most of the sounds that I'm changing back and forth between are like different levels of gain.
Yeah.
But different levels of overdrive, from clean to clanky to outright distorted. So for the most part, it's like, okay, I can get through that. Some of the sounds we have programmed for James are rather intense, depending on the song.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing his was working for that. But yeah, that's kind of part of the live rig. Though when we practice our songs, we do make sure to every once in a while run it once or twice without the backing tracks and the click track in our ears, just to make sure that like we know that we can, but it's just further
Mhm.
assurance, because like we don't want it to be the situation where like if the computer does mess up, we just like can't continue.
Yeah.
Like we got to know the music, we got to
Yep.
know it. So
Sorry,
um
Radke.
yeah, I know. I know like some people who are really not a fan of bands that use backing tracks and stuff, like they want the whole thing to be live, and I totally get that. But I think the way that we approach it is that like we're kind of focused on making the album that we want to hear first and
Yeah.
foremost. And if
Mhm.
that uses orchestral sounds and a choir, then we're going to use orchestral sounds and a choir.
We
But
don't want
it's
to be
not,
limited.
yeah, it's not realistic to expect us to go on tour with an orchestra and a choir.
What?
So so we have to use backing tracks.
I mean, Dream Theater's done it before, bro. Just throwing that out
Yeah.
there.
Right.
Stupid
Well,
I mean,
thing.
I suppose someone could make the case that like, oh, just get a keyboardist, but like that introduces a lot of difficulties to a dynamic that we're already like happy and comfortable with. So
So we just say no.
no. And I think if you're going to use backing tracks in this kind of context, like I want to emphasize, especially as the online discourse about backing tracks is actually like kind of blown up over the past couple of months for a few different reasons. But I think it's important, at least with what we're doing, that like the backing tracks are handling the stuff that is like sonically not possible for us to do any other way, but that is an important part of the music.
Mhm.
We like anything that is a bass part or a main guitar part or a lead vocal part or even honestly like a backing vocal part. Yeah, there's some like really far drawn back like backing vocals that have to be left in the backing track, but like anything that we can do like vocal harmony wise or like anything else that we can actually play, we do. Like there is no miming going on when we play live. As honestly, if that's how we were like choosing to go about it, why would we bother having the FM9s on stage?
Oh yeah.
Like those things are expensive, you can spend $1,500-$1,600 on one of those. Why would we even have that with us
You know what,
if
though?
we were
That
just going
gives
to
me a really
mime?
good idea. What we should do next, after we finish this album, is we should do an EP, and it'd be 4 or 5 songs that are the craziest songs that anybody has ever heard that are physically impossible to play. And we tour on that EP alone, and it's all backing tracks, and we sit up there and we play nothing the entire time, and we air drum and air guitar the wrong parts.
I mean,
Oh
what's
yeah.
more progressive than that?
This is true.
I'm just saying.
They bring out the kazoos. You got to do all the kazoo parts.
I just ordered 20 vibra slaps that are tuned to different notes that we're going to utilize on the next tour called the Vibra Slap Tour 2026.
Oh yeah.
Oh good.
Paul didn't know about this, but he's all for
I have blackmail. Now,
I guess I'll add this on James's behalf with regards to gear. When it comes to recordings, we like all guitars and bass are recorded DI.
yep.
Currently, the way that we're doing things and the way that we are likely to do things with the next album and the one after that, I don't know, unless something happens that changes our minds altogether. It's all DIs and amp sims because that gives us the most freedom to, mess with sounds and not just mess with sounds. We've gotten like the sound that we like out of the amp sims that we use. So like, you know, it works.
Yeah.
It just works great. Like I think it's very cool to be in a position to say, yeah, I think like we've achieved what Nospun guitar tone sounds like and is likely to sound like for the foreseeable future. So, you know. So anyway, that's gear.
Oh, hey, you know me. I love my gear. I always talk about it every time, and always find more gear I need to buy. So
Mm-hmm.
it just grows ever longer. I think I'm up to like several $100,000 worth of gear I want now.
Well, that's the best part about Sweetwater, man. Interest free for like 3 years. You know, you figure it out later. Buy it
Hell of
now.
a write off.
Hey, you don't have to pay it if they can't find you.
True.
Exactly. That is 100% true.
And that Blues King amp, that's a Supro.
Yep, that's it.
I looked it up. I was like, I think I know what he's talking about. I had to find it. It's a
Yeah, you see, like I just went to a store, played it for 20 minutes, went, "Bleh, I want it." I don't even know the specs.
it's an amp.
It does amp
Voices.
things.
Yeah.
If it like vibes with me, that's really all I care about. It could be a Supro Ultra Tube Deluxe, or it could be a crate square transistor fuzz thing. And if I like it, I'm getting it.
If it sounds good, it shall come home.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. Well, of course, we got to ask two very important questions. New music. We got to ask about new music.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to ask about upcoming shows starting
Okay.
in June, because not trying to date the podcast, but it's coming out in June and it's May. It's the end of May. So we gotta act like it's in.
It's totally June right now, guys.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. With regards to new music,
It's coming.
it's coming.
Moving
We're
on.
we're working on full length album number 2. We are 4 ish, maybe 5, like full song structures deep. So in our case, that kind of means like having the general idea of your drum parts, bass parts, guitar parts put together, chord progressions, like all the way through to the end of the song, but not necessarily lyrics or vocal parts written yet. And certainly they will be fleshed out a lot more as time goes on.
We got 2 weeks and then we'll have the album ready.
Yeah, for sure.
From
Unfortunately,
June 2026.
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. Unfortunately, the past month or so has been a little slow for us writing wise because I took a vacation for
Boo.
one. I know.
And then
Only
you
get to
got
take
sick.
one like every 2 years or whatever, and then I came back sick. Exactly, and that is that's stuck with me for like the past 2 weeks. So it's been kind of rough trying to get anything done. But as soon as I'm better, we'll
You
be
got
back
you
on
going.
it. The new music is sounding really incredible. I think for anyone who listened to the Ozai EP and was like, "Oh no, I preferred Opus," you'll be happy to know that generally speaking, like the new music leans more Opus, which makes more sense because Opus was written more recently than
Yeah.
the Ozai EP. So it's all of that fun proggy stuff. Um, Lots of just like very tasty riffs. And the kind of thing where we can go through and listen to like the demos that we've recorded in our writing sessions and just already be getting a lot of that really fulfilling feeling just from listening to the demos. So yeah, the new music is definitely happening. Um, as far as live shows, James, you want to talk about that or should I?
We're never playing live ever again.
Just ever again.
Ever again. By that, I mean we have a show lined up in July. I think it's July 19th. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
next
It
month.
is.
Next month.
Yeah. So that's actually an interesting one because I messed up my thing. Where's everybody? Hello? Yay. Um so for those of you who don't know, I play in 10,000 bands, and one of them is a Genesis tribute band.
Yep.
Um and the drummer of that band wanted to put a prog showcase together locally, um, with almost the express purpose to sort of introduce our band to Abacab's crowd, um, but also to give us a chance to play in front of a crowd that really wants to hear progressive music, right? So for that show, it will be Abacab opening the show, and then Nospun will be headlining. And we're working out maybe putting together a cover song to throw in at the end where we're all kind of jamming to maybe a Dream Theater song, maybe something else. We'll figure that out here in a little bit. But that one's going to be really, really fun. I think I'm gonna be really tired. I'm gonna be playing for 2.5 hours, but that's okay.
Hey, it's like
True.
am I evil? Am I evil with the big four thrash? Making it sound.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's always been one of my favorite performances for like music. Not even that the song is all that great, because Am I Evil is kind of boring. But
Yeah.
just the with
It's the
the
people
four
playing it that make it
drummers and
cool.
the six guitar players and
Am I Evil is a song that suffers from the absolute wrong drum beat.
yes.
Like that drum beat should not go there, and he chooses to play that for the entire song.
Yep.
Um,
And then you
That's
yeah,
got
funny.
bars.
and then no, well, yeah. Um, so yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. Cole, am I missing another one that's local? I feel like I am. Uh, it was a we're
I think
playing
yeah.
we're playing Prague Day. I forget when though. Um, we're terrible at this. Cole, check the Facebook now. Do
Has
it.
it been announced or
I guess not.
Wait,
It
I
will
don't
be
know.
by then.
There's a festival like Prague Day. I think it's in is it Chapel Hill or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, North Carolina and Chapel Hill. So we'll be doing that. I don't remember when that is
the new
exactly.
one has not been announced, but they have a website for last year's. So
Oh,
Pretty.
I really hope by the time this comes out, they've announced it. Like, hopefully, we're not we're not gonna get in trouble from announcing it here first.
we we'll,
It'll
we'll
be
figure
fine.
that part out.
You
It'll be
heard
fine.
nothing.
I'll take
Uh,
the ball for it.
what has been announced is that and this was announced last year, I think. We're playing Prague Power Europe
Yeah,
in October. Um, so that will be pretty wild getting to go over there.
really sick.
And we just have to decide what it is we're going to play for people. Because sure, we've just put out an EP, but also at the same time, the people over in Europe haven't gotten to see Opus played entirely yet. So
They haven't seen anything.
they haven't seen anything from us.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh.
Yeah,
So,
we're looking forward to that.
Hey, it's a big step for you guys, and I'm proud to call you guys my friends and excited to see what
likewise.
continues going on.
Yeah. Uh, and that's it.
Yeah,
We're
that's all we've
really
got on the
busy with
books.
shows, man.
I
That's why it
know
takes us so long to write music. We're just playing out all the time.
everyone is asking us, like, can you tour and play here and here? And we're like, yes, we really want to. Uh, Rent's kind of expensive right now. It's just
Yeah.
we'll work it out eventually.
If you're willing
Um,
to pay our rent for a couple months, we'll do we'll go wherever.
See, I think that's reasonable. Every
Sugar
ticket
daddy.
will just cost our rent, and that way you'll pay our rent for the next, I don't know, 30 years in one tour, and we're fine.
We're good at that point. We can do whatever.
Yeah, we can charge sleep token prices. It'll be great.
Oh, dude, sleep token prices are ridiculous.
They're Beyonce prices.
And I don't even think Beyonce charges Beyonce prices anymore.
Well, I've been to every single Beyonce show, so if
Oh,
anybody knows their ticket prices, it's me.
Put a ring on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
To the left, to the left.
Yeah. But no, we do plan on hitting, more places in the States, at some point for sure. It will happen.
Yeah, hitting them real hard.
Yeah, we're gonna punch them right in the face.
Mosh pit for days.
Well, surprisingly, "Dance with Me" is the best song to throw a mosh pit to.
Mm-hmm.
Circle pits all day.
Yep, moshing in 6'4". What's up?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there are people that mosh to weirder times.
That's right.
Lateralis for that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And every song by the Dillinger Escape Plan ever.
I'm excited to see them this year. I'm going to Louder Than Life. That's sick.
I'm thinking about it.
Pull the trigger, man. Come with me.
All right. Let's see what happens.
Well, of course, we got to finish this off with two more questions. First question is, what music are you guys listening to right now that you're just like on repeat?
Hold on.
Gloria Estefan, man. Turn the beat around.
I am notoriously terrible because anytime I go live on the Nospun account, I get asked that question and I can't remember for the life of me. So right now, I have begun to dug into Purple by Baroness.
Okay.
I'm really starting to dig into their sound. I'm a big Thin Lizzy fan, and they kind of scratch that itch.
Yeah.
I started listening to the new album by the Callous Cowboys.
How is that?
It's pretty good so far. I've never heard any of their music ever, so I just decided to start here. I mean, I love the Dillinger Escape Plan, and to me, it kind of scratches that itch. What else have I been listening to on repeat? I've listened to Parasomnia by Dream Theater quite a bit.
I've not listened to that yet. Still have not.
I honestly, hold on, fat. There we go. I really dig it. I feel like I say I really dig it. I can't remember the song names. Hold on. I really like Bend the Clock. And I really like the Shadow Man incident. To me, that's like their best epic, or my favorite epic of theirs, since probably the Ministry of Lost Souls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My favorite epic of theirs is Octavarium, but
that's good.
Yeah, so other than that, I'm just scrolling, taking a quick look.
For me, it's just our demos. I'm in that state where I can't listen to anything other than what we're working on.
Yeah.
Boring answer, but that's where I am.
It's understandable though. I've been listening to the demos that I sent you, Cole.
That's right.
I've been listening to them on repeat, and I go. Sometimes I'll be like, "Man, this is a banger right here," and then I'll go, "Man, I hate this song. Who wrote this garbage?" Oh, it was me. Never mind.
Yep, we go through
Just
that too.
welcome.
I'm trying to think what I've been listening to. Funny enough, like when Opus dropped, there were so many people were like, "Oh, these guys sound like Haken. These guys sound like Haken." And I know James and Cole specifically, like they enjoy Haken. That was definitely an influence. But I never really checked them out, and so I've kind of been like checking out their music and their discography for a while. And then actually, another Ormsby artist, Andosan. Cole introduced me to him, and so I've been digging him. He's like, what is he called? Like prog hop. So it's like hip hop with like progressive elements, a lot of thumping stuff, like Toast and Abazi from Animals as Leaders. And then I've been diving back into like the Contortionists and Leprous. Since we got to play, because Leprous was at Prague Power when we played, and that was the first time that I saw them live. And I listened to a few of their songs, but I've been getting into more of their older stuff recently.
Yeah. Well, I got to throw some fun recommendations out there for you. Easy Band. They do what is it? Hispanic mariachi. They do mariachi versions of rock songs.
Okay.
They did a mariachi version of Take on Me.
They have a mariachi version of Linger. I have to hear this.
It's fantastic. I found them about a month ago and I can't stop listening to them.
They have a version of Have You Ever Seen the Rain?
Yeah. They go,
okay.
Have you ever seen the rain?
Oh, I just added that to my library.
It's beautiful. I listened to the new Igor song, Blast Beat Falafel.
Blast Beat Falafel?
Yep. It is it's a strange one for sure. And watching them play it was even stranger. And then last, I got to throw in a good band in there that is not strange. Machine Head. I listened to the new Machine Head record. It's fantastic. Oh, and then Malevolence. I've been listening to their discography.
Malevolence and Machine Head.
And then I listened to this fun band. They're called Nospun. I don't know if you guys have heard of them.
Yeah, I listened to like a little bit of their first album. It's just a little too pretentious for my taste.
Too derivative.
No, see, like I'm looking at my recent library, and it's just all over the place. I have the Callous Dow Boys, then Harmony Corruption by Napalm Death, 13 Songs by Fugazi, Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1 by Halloween. I have Duck by the Aristocrats. It's just
Can you quack?
Can you quack like a duck? Cryptopsy, I got Death, I got Scorpions. I have Survivor, known for Eye of the Tiger.
Yes.
That's all.
Sick of that.
All, like all my recents right there.
I taught a kid that song. I taught a kid and a few other kids the drum part for that song. For like 4 months, I had different kids. I want to learn this song. I'm like, can we choose something else? No. I'm like,
that's how it goes. I teach a lot of Taylor Swift.
Oh, Taylor Swift is awful for guitar. I want to learn Taylor Swift. What about Taylor Swift? Oh, okay.
Well, you got these 3 chords.
Which, funny enough, makes it easy to play Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it does have its uses.
The challenging thing for teaching Taylor Swift is that, like, you can kind of have the students get by on like cowboy chords for a good
Yeah.
while, and then they're right at the end of the song. She does a key change. It's like
Yep.
great. Okay, so now we actually do in fact have to dig into bar chords, and I'm so sorry. You
Mhm.
know,
I have this one kid, he loves Taylor Swift, so I'm always printing off new chord charts and new sheet music for him. He can't get enough of it. He loves Taylor Swift. I think he's trying to build a binder of every single song in their original key.
man.
He is
He's
a
pretty sick at it
Swiftie.
though. He is a Swifty, but he's pretty good at it. So I don't
Hey,
mind listening to it. Plus, I don't have to hear her sing when he's playing. I just have to listen to him play it, which which does help a bit. Then I can think it's another song, and I get by.
well, hey, you know what? I spend most of my days teaching students music that they like that I hate, and
Yeah,
I'm just happy that they're playing music that they like. I I loathe those new students where I ask them, so who's your favorite artist you like to listen to? And they're like, I don't listen to music. I'm like, oh, you want to
that's
learn this
always
then?
my least
Okay.
favorite. Dude, it's like, what kind of music
Yeah.
do you like to listen to? I don't really listen to music. Um, okay, what made you decide to play this instrument? Oh,
Our arbitrary decision by their
yeah,
parents to give them a guitar for Christmas.
exactly. I got a guitar or a keyboard for Christmas, or I got this set of drums that uh, are practically the Hello Kitty drums.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, Mike Portnoy shredded on a Hello Kitty drum set. It can be
It's
done.
true.
Can be done.
It broke, in like 5 minutes, but
Oh yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna
it's
throw
comes
always
with the
by day.
territory.
3 more recommendations for you. Delta Hate.
Sure.
It's hardcore, but I think you'll appreciate it. The new Dance Gavin Dance, because who doesn't like to dance? And then the new country song by the Crabcore band Attack Attack.
The new country song.
Yep. Because
Okay.
I heard that's where you guys are going next. Country, right? Next album
Yeah,
all country.
for sure.
Well, you're actually kind of not super far off for
Jesus
in regards
Christ.
to one of the songs.
I have that premonition like that.
Just you wait.
I'm excited to hear it. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Thank you guys for coming on. Oh, of
Sure.
course we got to do the shout outs. And where can they find you? And the plugs.
Ah, yes.
Plugs.
Not
We're
the
on Christian Mingle.
not the Christian Mingle plugs either.
Bumble, Tinder.
That does make me wonder if we're missing out on an opportunity to be advertising ourselves on Tinder or something. That would be
Advertise yourselves
interesting.
on
Create
Grindr. They tend to like prog music.
Well,
true,
see,
fair enough.
I prefer OnlyFans.
Well, I did create this platform. It's called Prog Hog.
Go on.
I like this. Where's this going? Let's hear it.
Oh,
The problem is it's going nowhere. We we're on all the usual socials, Instagram, Facebook. We are not on Twitter anymore. We are on Blue Sky.
Okay.
We're on TikTok, YouTube, all the good stuff. As of like the day that we are doing this, my bass playthrough video of Life, the Universe, and Everything off of our new EP, the Ozai EP, came out today.
Pretty
So that's definitely one that you'll want to watch if you want to see a good example of my Ormsby basses, because I'm playing one, and then my remaining 4 I have sitting behind me in the video.
I may or may not have watched it on the way to go pick up my aunt from the Raleigh airport this morning.
Nice.
It's pretty cute.
In all likelihood, James's playthrough is going to be next, because his are the second easiest to film.
Of course.
And yeah, that Ozai EP that I just talked about, it came out a couple months ago. Please go and stream it and buy it and everything.
Buy now.
If you, yeah, exactly.
Like
if you do
mine.
listen to it, and you feel like I want something a little proggier than this, our debut album Opus is also still out there. By all means, go listen.
Or as I affectionately call it, Opus.
Opus.
Yeah.
Paul has affectionately dubbed our next album Mopus.
Mopus
So-
coming out soon.
Nospun.
Exactly. So I think that about covers it as far as the plugs.
That's what's up. Any shout outs? I got a shout out to you guys
Hey,
Hey.
for coming on and being such great participants in the podcast.
absolutely.
Thanks for having us, man.
I
Yeah.
guess shout out to Ormsby Guitars because that's our contractual obligation, and and also they just make really really good guitars. What can I say?
Very pretty.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
a thing I really like about them is how bright their finishes are.
They are lovely.
I like colors, so that makes sense.
They have all the colors.
Apparently, I'm colorblind, though, if you ask my wife, so don't ask me what color any of them are.
If it feels good, that's all that matters.
That's right. And then, our last question. I know you know my last question. What's going to be the outro song? Pick something off the Ozai EP.
Oh. Shit.
Which one did
I
we
I
do
think-
last time?
Oh, good. I feel like it was probably Earworm or something, or
That's
within the
right.
realm of possibility.
I think so.
I think it should be. Since this is the end of the interview, hit them with the end of the Ozai EP. So the outro of Jormungand, like the big strong note that Phil hits.
Yeah.
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 We'll do that then. I think it was Earworm. It says it's right here, actually. Number 3
yeah.
on the podcast.
Ooh.
Maybe it'll show me. Yeah, it was Earworm. Cool. I'm like,
Makes sense.
is it? Yeah, it is. Well, I think that'll do it.
All right, y'all.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Likewise.
to the viewers, until next time.
See y'all later.
This has been episode 26 of the Mullins Over Music Podcast with host, producer, editor, me, Austin Mullins. Special thanks to Cole Millward, James Nelson, and Paul Wood of Nospun. The song is Jormungand from Nospun. Check them out on the social media and the music platform. Go check out the Ozai EP that released, as well as their debut record, Opus. And special thanks to viewers like you. Thank you. Till next time, see ya.